Are you always wondering what to do with your chords when you play in a band? Like, you can play the basic block chords, but you have no clue how to add a rhythm that actually fit the groove of the song. So in this video, I'll walk you through my process for adding keyboards to 3 different songs. So the next time you're given a chord chart, you'll know how to turn those chords into a keyboard part that actually grooves and fits with the band. And if you'd like to have the PDF version of this video to follow at home, you can get it for free down below in the description. Alright, for the first song, we're gonna take a classic, Bad Moon Rising by CCR.
I see the bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way.
Okay, so we got the groove here. We want to add something in there because there's no keyboard into this song. So there's a few things we can do, but I would probably go with a piano sound to start because I feel it fits this musical style. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the guitar start, but then we're going to start with the band and we're going to just add the chords, okay? So I want to follow just the chord changes and we're going to be playing this. Let's see what happens if I do this, and we're going to build this so we can add a little bit more rhythm and comping to those chords. All right, the guitar here.
I see the bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning.
All right.
I see bad times today.
Okay, so what I just did, I played twice the first chord, just following what the guitar is doing. And super basic, just following the chord change. So on the left, just 1 and 5. And it follows the rhythm on my right hand, so it doesn't get too much in the way of the bass or anything else because I'm just following this. Same thing here, just adding the power chords. You could also just add the root if you'd like. That works too. I feel like having the power chord in there, it's very nice. So you want to have this too, like this, okay? A cool thing that I think we could add that kind of follow what the guitar is doing, and that's how I figure out how to add groove and rhythm. I listen to the whole band. I listen to all the different pieces and see what I can add to complement some section. So it's this 4 to the 1 chord. So we're on D, so we're going to G and back to D. Let's try to add this in there and see what happens for the verse. Okay.
I see the bad moon rising.
Right here.
I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today.
Alright, so right here. And I even added just a small feel here. So before we go back, so it's moving from the 2nd and the 5th to the 3rd. Very country vibe to this. It fits perfectly CCR like this. And that's basically what I would be doing for the verse. I would just follow the groove, stay in the back, just play the chord change. Let's see for the chorus. So for the chorus, I think we have 2 options. We can groove with the piano, or we could add some organ in there. I think it could be pretty cool to have just a pad with the organ just to elevate a little bit of the bend during the chorus. So let's try this. Let's add the organ in the chorus.
I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight. Well, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. I hear hurricanes are blowing.
How cool was that? Just adding Just adding this pad in the chorus, it changes the whole mood. And I really love the organ for that. So we can absolutely add this. This is how I would be doing for this song. I would either keep it on the piano for the whole song, just comping like I did, or in the chorus, if you want to make just a change and add something, I would be adding some pad on the organ here. And if you know your chords, but you still struggle to turn them into keyboard parts that actually fit the song, that's exactly what we are working on inside my Band Ready Keyboardist mentorship. You can click the link in the description below to learn more. Alright, let's go to song number 2 and we're gonna change the mood completely. So for this one, we're gonna go with Purple Rain by Prince.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain.
Such a beautiful song. I really enjoy this song. So what I feel like for this vibe is I think I want to go with some road sounds. It fits the vibe that we have in this song. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to keep it super simple because again, we're not the focus, we're not the main instrument in this song. So we really want to support the band, stay in the back. But there's a few things we can do in there that is just going to be so tasty. So I'm going to start with just simple pads in the back with the throats. I might be adding just a few notes here and there, some arpeggios to just embellish the thing. And we'll build from there. All right, let's go. Don't play here.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only want one time to see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
Alright, so beautiful. You can see how simple ideas, just a few tiny things, can just add so much. You don't have to do a lot in there. So what happened is I started with just a chord, holding the chord here, and then playing like this. In this type of song, what I love adding, it's the add 9. Pretty much almost any chord like this can really feel nice with an add 9. And then back to right here. So you really want to start by just holding the chords. Don't play anything more. Just play and just listen to what's happening around you. Eventually you can start adding a few notes here and there like I did. So you can just reuse the notes you just played. Like this. So it doesn't add that much, but it just feels a little bit in the back and it's really nice to have in the background. So this type of thing. When we're getting to the F, which is a very longer chord into the chorus, what I usually do is I'm going to be changing the chord inversion. So just adding a little bit more every time we have a new bar, so it fills a little bit of the whole gap like this. So a very beautiful song. I truly like this. Let's try to see if we add organ, but just for the chorus. So let's go with something that is a lot more soft. So okay, let's see what would happen. I'm gonna go back to the verse and we'll get into the chorus, and for the chorus I'm just gonna go with a very smooth pad on the organ.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only want one time to see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only want to see you bathing in that purple rain.
So see, just adding some pads for the chorus just added so much to the arrangement right here. You just want to be sure that you stay in the back. So this is why I always work on the drawbars here. And I make sure it's not taking too much space in the mix. So you can always change those. They're right here for this. So you can move them, go by ear, try to figure out which one fits. And what's great here is to keep soft voicing and make sure you connect your chord with the chord inversion. That's gonna be the secret on the organ. It's really to make sure that you have the closest note from where you're going. And at the end, we can always have like this beautiful punch on the B flat, just slide down just to add so much intensity to the comping here and go back to the Rhodes for the next verse. So this is something that you can absolutely do. If I was playing this song live, this is probably where I would go. Either I would keep it with the Rhodes for the entire song, or at least at the end where he's soloing and stuff like this, I would get on the organ just to add a little bit more here. Amazing, let's move on to the last song. And this one is one of my favorite, and it's Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes.
Baby, here I am, I'm a man on the scene. I can give you what you want, but you gotta come home with me.
Alright, so this one is so cool to play, especially in the band, because it's a great groove and there's so much happening in there. We have a ton of option of what we can play based on the chord. So I would probably play this on the piano like this. You can do it with just 2 octaves. So both hands playing the same note. Something like this. Really add something to the introduction since everybody's playing it. Very cool. Just make sure you really focus on playing at the same time as the whole band. Then, I'm gonna start with the piano. So let's see what we could do. Let's start with only a simple groove following just the chords, okay? And then we're gonna build on that. So, starting from here, let's go with the verse. Okay, so if you want to keep it super simple for the verse, you can absolutely just punch with this rhythm. Very simple. You're not gonna get in the way. You're adding a little bit of piano in there. Very cool. If we want to do a little bit more though, and just get kind of inspired by the piano part in the song, we could actually go with so what's happening here, a very rock and roll riff that I actually really enjoy, is we start from B, we go to E, and then that's some kind of a B7 and back here. So we're moving in thirds on top. It works in so many songs. On the left, I'm just following the rhythm. So that's another variation you can do. So let's just try this on the verse with the song. Alright, okay. So for the verse, pretty cool, works with the chords, so I would definitely do this comping right here. Very cool, I love this. For the chorus, I tried to add some quite note. It wasn't feeling right, so I think we should add the comping in there. So let's try something with the piano for the chorus.
Cause mama, I'm sure the handle now gets around.
Okay, so for the chorus, this is the kind of vibe of the comping I would be doing. Either that or you just hold a chord in the back if this is too complex or if it's not the perfect fit. And then what you have at the end, this is just following the chord, so just the rhythm of the song. You do exactly the same as everybody else. And with the left, I keep the power chord or just the root note right here. But for the chorus, we could actually try adding some organ in there just to make a change between the comping on the piano, adding a little bit more organ, and it just adds so much to the chorus. So let's do the chorus again, and I'm gonna switch to organ instead. Let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm sure the handle now gets around. Very cool. So it adds so much when we get into the chorus. We add the organ, and what I love doing in this type of song is using slides. So the switch between the two might be super fast. So what you can do is use your left hand, slide up, use a left slide, and then when you punch, because there's a break there, you slide down, you let the singer go in there, and then you end with the next section. And if you want to go deeper, I've built a complete system to teach you how to think like a keyboard player in a band, so you can stop guessing what to play and start building confident musical keyboard parts from the song you're already learning. You can learn more about the Band Ready Keyboardist mentorship using the link in the description below. Alright, bye for now.